We left off on the breaking process of the African woman. That's part 5. Alright. It says, take the female, run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desire willingly. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any signs of resistance and submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of bitch out of her. Take care not to kill her, for in doing so you spoil good economics. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become age. Okay. Understanding this is the best thing, therefore we should go deeper into the area of this subject matter concerning what we produce here in this breaking process of the female nigger. We have reversed the relationships. In her natural uncivilized state, see they call her natural and uncivilized state being when it's the man, then the woman, then the child. But it says in her natural uncivilized state, she would have strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male. And she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring and will raise the female offspring to be somewhat dependent like her. Nature had provided for this type of balance, and when they say nature had provided for this type of balance, meaning that the Most High, the Creator, provided for this type of balance, where it was the man, then the woman, then the child, but they took it and changed that balanced up, in which they're going to explain to you right here. He said, we reserve nature. Okay, it said we reverse nature by burning and pulling one uncivilized nigger apart and bullwhipping the other one to the point of death, all in her presence. By her being felt left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from the psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. In the frozen psychological state of independence, she would raise her male and female offspring in reverse roles, fulfill the young male's life. She would psychologically train him to be mentally weak, independent, but physically strong. And that's what we got right now today in our young so-called black males. They mentally weak, but they physically strong. Okay. Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent. What we have got, you got the nigger woman out front and the nigger man behind and scared. This is the perfect situation for sound sleep and economics. He said it's the perfect situation for them for sound sleep and economics. Okay, before the breaking process, we had to be utterly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman, which is you, the so-called black woman, God for us, stand guard for us. He cannot get past her early infant slave molding process, which that's the way y'all brought up. That's just in the culture how y'all brought up. He is a good tool, now ready to be tied up to the horse at a tender age. By the time a nigger boy reaches the age of 16, he is soundly broken and ready for the long life of sound and efficient work for the reproduction of the unit of good labor force. Continually, through the breaking of the uncivilized savage niggers, by throwing the nigger female savage into a frozen psychological state of independency, by killing off the protective male image, and by creating a submissive, dependent mint mind of a nigger male savage, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever, unless the phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and female savages. We show that what we mean by example. Take the case of the economic slave units and examine them closely. Okay, I'm going to stop right there for a second because I feel that I should elaborate on the part where he's saying that it would take a phenomenon, a reshifting of the way we think in order for us to come back off into our natural state. And see, this is what's being rejected right now in this society. When you got those of us so-called black men who coming back off into our natural state and trying to step back up to our prior state, we being knocked down not by only this way of this Euro Gentile, this unmelanated leper, but our women are participating as the lieutenants and the captains and the majors and the sergeants of this unmelanated Euro Gentile leper and knocking us down also because this is the way she been reared from birth. Not all y'all like that, but it's a great number of y'all that are like that. Because I'm saying I could differentiate between the level of the way the so-called black women think versus the level of the so-called these younger black women think. Because I'm saying when I look back and look at women like my mother and my grandmother and women of those days, it seemed like they had 360 degrees more of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding than these ones that's coming up from the age of little girls all the way on up to the age of maybe I say 40 years old. Because it's a lost generation between 40 and on down to the teenage years of y'all so-called black women, and also with the males too. But I ain't speaking on the males right now. I'm speaking on the so-called black females. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that we being Willie Lynch. You are being Willie Lynch. You're being used against us. And I'm finna go on and let you know further what this unmelanated Euro Gentile is saying. These ain't my words. These is the words of this unmelanated Euro Gentile leper. He say the Negro marriage unit. They say we breed 2 nigger males with 2 nigger females. Then we take the nigger males away from them and keep them moving and working. Say to the one nigger female bears another nigger female and the other bears another nigger male. Both nigger females being without influence of the nigger male image, frozen with the independent psychology, will raise their offspring into reverse positions. The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We negotiate with her, so she only negotiate with the unmelanated Euro Gentile, the leper. She won't negotiate with her own man, because she figure her man ain't standing on no ground, so she ain't got to negotiate with her own man. So she gonna negotiate with her previous past and previous slave master, which is this unmelanated Euro Gentile. And saying through her, and say we negotiate with her and through her and by her and negotiate at her will, making you think that you running the show, but all the time they dictating the pace. The one with the nigger male offspring, she will be frozen and with subconscious fear for his life will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but psychologically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now in a few years when these 2 offspring become fertile for early reproduction, we will make and breed them and continue this cycle. That is good, sound, long-range, comprehensive planning. Now I'm not gonna go through this whole thing, but I just wanted y'all to get the gist that this is what have to take place amongst us in order that they can control us. And like I said, they doing a good job of controlling us. And mainly they're able to do it through our women. You know, they mainly able to do it through our women. And that's the bottom line. We got to wake up from this drunken state that we've been put in before it's too late. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to come back with the final episode and I'm going to round it all up. Alright.